What's going on, Future Core fans? This is Bernie here, back again with another video. Today, we got the What Did We Learn? The Raw edition today on September 11th, 2017. Hope you guys had a great day today. You know, whatever you guys did, hope it was productive and something you guys enjoyed. But, you know, enough of that. Let's just get right into the video. I have really limited time right now, so I just want to really get this out to you guys. So, the first thing that we learned is the Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan match. We learned that when Roman last week said that it took John Cena 20 minutes to beat a rookie. You know, he was all high and mighty. But then this match took Roman Reigns about 20 minutes, I think, as well. And, you know, Jason Jordan looks really good in this match. It just kind of sucks that he had to go against Roman Reigns. Even though they cheered for Jason Jordan, it was still more of a... They were still booing Roman Reigns. There was no... let's go. I mean, there was a little bit of "Let's go Jordan" chants, but it was more of just Roman sucks chants. But, you know, one thing I will say about Jason Jordan is that he has a beautiful Northern Lights suplex. That thing is a thing of beauty. Oh man, I can see why they picked him to be Kurt Angle's son, and why they decided to choose him over Chad Gable. But I still think it's a matter of they're not really charismatic is the issue with them. But, you know, this match again ends with the Roman Reigns winning with a spear, which led to a Roman Reigns versus John Cena promo. Cena saying that Roman basically buried himself during these promo segments that they keep having. Again, John Cena says that the guy steps up, referring to Roman Reigns as being the guy. And Roman, in this kind of banter between him and Cena, is that he says that the revenue's been up, the sales numbers have been up, the ticket numbers have been up, so the WWE doesn't really need John Cena. And I kind of have an issue with that, only because WWE doesn't realize that before even the John Cena era, like the Attitude Era, those numbers were ridiculously crazy. I mean, those were like in the 9s and 10s, I believe. But now, like, looking at it now, they're barely making the 3s. So, I mean, is there really something to be celebrating about when you used to be at the 10s and now you're down at the 3s? I mean, I don't know if it's... this is just so frustrating to me as a fan, because when you watch this stuff, some of the stuff that the wrestlers do are just amazing, but they just push the wrong guys. I mean, the biggest case is Jinder Mahal on SmackDown. I mean, no one really wants to see that kind of style of wrestling anymore. I mean, you have your times for that, and that's what Braun Strowman is. He's a hybrid. And that's where I think Braun Strowman is really going to be the next, going into my topic in this video, is going to be the next main guy. So we'll have to watch out for him. So when we go to him, I'll talk about him a little bit more. But going back to this WWE thing is, they just don't know how to keep these numbers. I mean, there's so many ways. I mean, if you have great wrestling matches and just real life storytelling, this is what me and Peter were trying to say in the podcast for Fusion Cast. If you guys don't watch, make sure to watch Gimmick Cast. But, you know, what happens is that they just decide to give the belt to someone that's really undeserving, and the wrestling storylines are just so cheesy and corny. It just makes it so stupid. I mean, I don't want my intelligence insulted by WWE because they can't simply book a decent storyline. If you literally book it like a sporting event where you have one guy versus the other guy, you know, those UFC kind of promo fighting. I mean, we even saw the kind of antics with Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz when they were throwing water bottles at each other. I mean, where is that? I mean, that is real life. That's happening in real life. So I'm wondering why we just don't get more of that. I mean, that's what Brock Lesnar gives us, and that's what I want to see more of from our champions and from our matches. So I don't want Roman coming here and telling me that the numbers and the sales are up when clearly the product isn't there. I mean, no one is going to the USA Channel to watch wrestling anymore. I mean, football's back. You know, I'm watching football and WWE at the same time. It's hard. I have more interest in watching the Saints versus the Vikings game today than I did the Raw today. I mean, it was just ridiculous how much we just... Not we. I mean, we as the WWE Universe, we need to voice our opinions a bit more. I mean, some of the stuff is good. Like, the Braun Strowman stuff, perfectly built. But again, I just don't understand what is going on with this company and why in this promo that Roman Reigns brings that up. But anyway, while I get back on point, not Roman Reigns, sorry, but John Cena comes in with a beautiful burn saying that, "Consider me a drug test, Holmes. You can't pass me," referring to Roman Reigns not being with his failed drug test. And that was just a good burner line, but then again, still, I'm a little confused as if you want Roman to be the guy, why are you week after week now burying Roman in the promo battles? I mean, we all know that Roman can't cut like a promo like John Cena. There's no, how do you say it? Like, he can't just make up stuff on the fly. It's more of he needs to have it like scripted, outlined, and just remember it like line for line. And that's kind of, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you can't cut a promo. But if you want your main guy to be the guy, he either has to be like really, really like excel at wrestling and can be, mediocre to average in the promo department. At least that's my criteria for it. If you're at least, if you're good on one side but, decent on the other, then you'll be okay. But if you're not good at one of them and you're really bad at the other thing, then there's no way that you should be champion or even considered to be the guy. You can be a champion, but you just can't be considered the guy. Anyway, before I, pop a blood vessel, I mean, maybe my voice doesn't sound like I'm angry with some of this stuff, but believe me, I am. So let me just go on to the next thing, what we learned, which is going to be the Brock Lesnar segment. Heyman's hyping this match up a lot for us as fans, And what's weird is that we're picturing Brock Lesnar as the underdog when in most of his matches he's been, the favorite. So it's kind of interesting to see that, the way that Heyman's booked him, or not booked him, but the way that he's been presented to us in that, he's an underdog because of what Braun Strowman did to him at, I believe it's Great Balls of Fire. Or no. Sorry, SummerSlam. Yeah. It's Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar was Great Balls of Fire. But yeah, at SummerSlam, we got Braun Strowman just destroying Brock Lesnar in that match particularly. And that's what was kind of crazy about it, is that, I mean, now looking at it, we can see that Braun Strowman is now the favorite because of how big and strong he is. And then the case was proven tonight again when, they called out Strowman. Strowman comes out, guns blazing at Brock Lesnar. They're fighting in the ring. They're getting in at it. Strowman's got the upper hand, but then Brock Lesnar suplexes Braun Strowman, and then this was probably the best booking you could have done. Braun Strowman just no-sells the hell out of that suplex. Gets up and then just starts beating him, and then eventually, with the running power slam to knock him out a little bit. So, if you're Paul Heyman, you're a little bit concerned for your client, but this is exactly how you build up to the pay-per-view, and this is how you build up promos. You want interactions, you want all this kind of stuff, but you don't want it too often. And that's what is kind of beautifully blended here, because it also has a sense of realism where you believe that Braun Strowman can beat Brock Lesnar. So that's also another thing that I enjoyed about this promo. And then another thing that we learned here is that Asuka is officially going to be coming to Raw when she heals up. So that's going to be great news for the division. I think Asuka is probably the best female wrestler besides Sasha Banks. The way that Asuka can perform matches is just ridiculous. Even again, like Ember Moon was great matches. She's had great matches with everybody, and that's what I like about Asuka, is that she's just a great workhorse. She will be. I hope that she's undefeated, and they keep her undefeated until WrestleMania, until a worthy opponent comes in, because this streak could last a really long time if they wanted to. But do I have faith in the Raw writing team, the creative team, to kind of make a story that could be believable and we don't get sick of Asuka? No. I mean, some people they're good with. AJ Styles, they've done well. Samoa Joe, they've done well to an extent. But, I mean, there's plenty of examples where WWE just drops the ball with everything. We dropped the ball with Bayley. We dropped the ball with Finn Balor. Who else did we drop the ball? We dropped the ball with Sami Zayn. I mean, there's too many examples of NXT guys that just don't pan out to be good on the Raw. Not any fault of their own, but more of just fault of the WWE creative team of not coming up with better storylines and just promoting guys that they want more. I understand, you're going to have your mid-carders, your jobbers, but especially like Sami Zayn, but, you could still keep them good if you just don't book everybody every single week from the same matches and doing the same thing. But anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent. Let's move on to the next thing after we talked about Asuka here. And the next thing is going to be Cena versus Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman, this is where I'm going to have a very controversial, I don't know if it's controversial statement, but I think I'm going to make a statement here. If you want a new face of the company with a WWE look, then look no further than Braun Strowman. At first, we were all kind of moaning at the idea of Braun Strowman being a champion and just being in the WWE. I mean, he's not a champion yet, but, we moaned at the idea of him becoming one day a champion because of how, it's like a Vince McMahon project. He wanted to, he had the big looks to him, big, strong, could do everything. And, the fans, we don't really like that style anymore. It's not really what we want to see in it. But I will say that he has grown on me so much since that Roman Reigns feud. And I think, in a way, they've made Braun Strowman the new face of the company. I think he should be the guy. Although he can't cut promos, I mean, he only says a couple words. If you just give him a manager, like a good talking manager, I don't see... The sky's the limit with Braun Strowman. He is literally the next big thing for WWE. That's like a WWE guy that they grew with. They grew up. They groomed him. They made him what he is now. And that's something that I think WWE is really pushing because they know that they created this guy on their own and they don't have to sell the Ring of Honor or New Japan type of style. And my perspective from it is I enjoy Braun Strowman. I think he's a really good talent. And I think booked properly, they could actually make him a heel, which is what they're trying to do. But the problem is that they faced him against Roman Reigns. So, of course, anybody going against Roman Reigns is going to be cheered. And it also doesn't help that Braun Strowman does freakishly supernatural stuff, like lifting the ambulance. So, of course, that's going to get a huge pop with the audience. No one's going to boo that. Maybe, in the 80s they were going to boo that. But in the 2017s, we ain't booing that. And Braun Strowman is going to be the new guy, I believe. I think he's probably going to be the face of the company in terms of being a WWE homegrown guy that they can say that, hey, we built this guy up on our own. We didn't need New Japan. We didn't need Ring of Honor or any other indie promoters. GFW, I mean, no one really likes GFW anymore. Except for my boy Johnny Mundo. Shout out to you. But anyway, this video is already getting too long. I can already see that we're at 13 minutes. So I'll just quickly sum this up. Cena gets absolutely pulverized by Braun Strowman. Cena just takes the biggest L of his... Not of his career, but he takes the biggest L of tonight. Because he just got absolutely destroyed by Braun Strowman. And I enjoyed that a lot. Then the one thing I do want to talk about, and I probably will take up the rest of the time... as nothing else was really that interesting other than the club getting buried again. And that's pretty much it for me. Like what I saw from Raw, that was anything interesting. I mean, I was going to go on a tangent about the 8-man tag team, but I feel like I've already done that. And maybe I'll make that a discussion for the Gimmick cast that we'll be doing later this week. But the thing I'm going to talk about today is the Enzo Amore Miz TV segment. And again, Miz is world class at talking. I believe that he's probably the best person at cutting promos in the company. I think he's better than John Cena. I just think the way he delivers it and the way that you could see in his face that he believes it is what I think makes that promo that he's in very much stronger. Even though his wrestling's not good, he can be carried to a good match if you put him with the right partner. But his wrestling's not good enough to where I think he could be a world champion. But his promo skills is WWE champion. He would hold that belt for years if he had really good wrestling skills. But anyway, going to the segment, Miz TV comes out, talks about how the Miz's wife, Maurice, is having a baby. Congrats to them, by the way. And, Enzo Amore comes out, interrupts the speech that the Miz was going to give. The Miz just goes full on cutting the guy down. I mean, we're talking burying 205 Live, which is another issue that I don't understand why you had to put that in the segment. Because you're burying guys like Cedric Alexander, Neville, Rich Swann. I mean, those guys are so good and talented that I don't think you need to bury 205 like that. I know no one watches it, and I don't watch it either. But, I mean, you still don't want to cut those guys down because those guys are really good workers, and I hope that my hope is that the WWE puts them on the main roster. I mean, Cedric Alexander is a guy that could be on the main roster competing against a guy like Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, the Hardy Boys, either one, when they become awoken. Anyway, they buried 205 Live saying that no one else would take you in, and 205 was forced to take you in, basically. And that he's been called a con artist with a couple catchphrases. And that gets Enzo a little bit heated. The fans are still on Enzo's side. They still don't find him annoying as some of us in the wrestling community does. I mean, I think he's okay. He's okay when he doesn't cut these long-winded promos. Like, if it's a very long promo, then I'm done. I don't want to hear Enzo Amore talk for more than 15 to 20 minutes. And I can understand why people, in the buses really wanted to punch him in the face. But Enzo says that Miz copies Ric Flair and Chris Jericho, which is also kind of a point I never thought about. Maybe because I haven't watched, previous years of wrestling. I started watching from maybe after Daniel Bryan to now. Before that, I was watching, 2007 to 2009 or 10. And then, the Miz just cuts down, like I said again, the Miz just cuts down Enzo, promo after promo, just saying that, there's people in the back there that hate you. I could teach you how to beat it because I was in that situation myself, but I learned to recover and do things that I thought I would never be able to do in the company, which is a very good point by the Miz. I hope that Enzo listens to that and just learns from his mistakes. I don't want to see anybody get fired from their job or from whatever they need to do, but if you're not good at it, or if you just refuse to cooperate with everybody else in a respectful manner, I mean, there's stuff that you can disagree with, but if you just can't do it in a respectful manner, then there's no room for you on this WWE roster. I mean, there's plenty of guys that would want to be in your position, and although you think you're the hot stuff right now, you think that you're all that, but in reality, you're just the lower guy on the totem pole from all these guys. I mean, I want to see Enzo succeed because I think he's a great talker, and they just took away that tag team with him and Cass. I don't understand why they took it away. It's a very good tag team, and it's just, I wouldn't say it's a great tag team, but I will say that they were a tag team that everybody got behind and everybody rooted for, especially in NXT when they haven't captured it. They didn't capture the NXT title, so you could have built a storyline there leading up to it, and with them finally winning the Raw tag team titles. But, they went with the Cass heel turn, and Enzo wins on a fluke when Cass got injured. And it just leads us to here now, where Miz is just burying Enzo. Anyway, they had a match from that, and, they were talking on the mic a little bit during the matches. They would do a couple moves, saying, how you doing? All that kind of stuff, which led to a kind of a rage mode with the Miz when Enzo said, "Who's her dad? Who's the daddy?" And Miz got in the heat of rage. He started kicking Enzo's ass. Enzo just got his ass kicked. The Miz Taraj also came in with a couple blows, and the cheer of "Who's your daddy?" got over. Very immature crowd, of course. It was expected to happen when that stuff occurs, but that was Raw. I thought it was a little bit too long. Again, when I saw the hour mark of how everything went, especially the Braun Strowman match, how it was just kind of in the middle between him and Cena, it was just very boring. Not boring, but there was a lot of filler that you just didn't enjoy watching or seeing. And I'd give this Raw. I mean, this is more of not even like my out of rating thing. This is more of just what I learned from it and what we can assess from it. And just kind of like a little bit of banter and ranting for me. I understand that, some of the stuff people won't agree with. That people will always see like, oh, why do you complain? Oh, why do you do this? Why do you complain about Raw? Why don't you just stop watching it? Well, the reason why I won't stop watching it is because I believe that there's great talent on that roster on both Raw and SmackDown. It's just the booking and just the longness of these matches and these promos. It's just too much for wrestling fans to just gulp in, to indulge. That I think they need to cut down some of the hours, really. I don't understand why these matches and these promos are so long, especially on Raw. We don't need 3 hours. Just give us 2 or 1. And we'll just see from here. Anyway, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the content that we have on Fusion Corp. Remember that me and Pete will also be doing a Fusion Corp Gimmick Cast this week, and along with other videos. I'm sorry that some of the videos haven't come out, but I promise you that this week we will try and get those done for you. Again, this has been Bernie from Fusion Corp. I will holler at you guys later. Peace!